I'm here. I'm here. How's it going? Welcome to the Sulk stream. I'm your host, the Incredible Sulk, and I hope you guys are doing A-okay. I didn't get shit for sleep this weekend, and yeah, I was raging. I went to Vegas, and I went to Vegas with the ROTC boys and some of the Daywave crew, and it was a long weekend. And I just got back this morning, and I hadn't slept for at least 24 hours at that point. And woo. How are you guys doing? I missed you. It's been almost a week. I know I'm a bad cult leader, aren't I? I feel like a bad cult leader. There should be a timer where if I don't speak to you for a certain amount of time, you know exactly what to do. You have the plan in action at that moment. Put on the Nikes, pull the purple blanket over your face, and call it a day. Okay? That's the deal. That's the deal. Yes, I do go missing from time to time. This is not my fault. I just get confused or apathetic. And that's probably what happened this weekend. We went and saw WrestleMania. I did some man on the street stuff. I did some interviews. I talked to the people, the gross WrestleMania people. They were abundant, both in corpus and numeration. There's a lot of them, is what I mean. But they're also fat. Anyways. I interviewed an ice cream cone and implied that his mom... You know what? You're going to have to wait for it. You're going to have to wait for it because that's actually going on Daywave and ROTC. I will be on ROTC sometime during this week, I assume. But maybe next week. I don't know. This shit's going to... Anyways, I spent all weekend drinking. And so here I am doing my best Mersh impression. And even though it's night, I'm wearing my sunglasses because for some reason, this stage light seems brighter than it used to be. There is settings on it though, so I might have to check that. Anyways, tonight, we are going to do The Hangover. We're going to do the psychology of The Hangover. What it means. Why, that shit, you know? The philosophy behind it. The motivations. The id of The Hangover. Which is actually complex. And it says a lot about how depressed people are. And there's a sense of hopelessness that we all deal with. And then the only way to really cope with it is lower your inhibitions as much as possible. And then just become some sort of weird animal. I mean, that's why that city exists, right? I assume. Or is it just people are degenerates and they want to go and be a degenerate? These are questions we're going to have to ask. I can't promise to answer them. I really can't. I can't. I don't have that ability. I don't have that mental acuity right now. I flew on Spirit Airlines, all right? What do you want out of me? It was awful. Anyways, guys. I hope you're doing good. I hope you had a great long weekend. All right? Where I didn't tell you what to do. I should have. You should have been out knocking on doors talking about the show. Because why aren't you doing that in the first place? Just seems kind of lazy. Seems kind of lazy of you. Just a little bit. But whatever. I'm just your cult leader, right? I'm not your dad or anything like that. I'll just lead you to salvation instead of just, ignoring you. Developing some sort of weird attachment issue. No, I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. So get comfy. Get cozy. Get a bottle and get a yard. Like a big one of those margaritas. Then you hold it on the strip and shit like that. You guys are going to see pictures. You're going to see pictures. You're going to see pictures. Not tonight. But maybe. I don't know. I'll see what I want to do. If you're working, keep working. If you are driving, don't drive in Vegas because those people are animals, dude. They like every cab there, just animals. I mean, I guess that goes with being a cabbie in the big city. The big city. The big city. Yeah. Where was I gonna go? Yeah, I think yeah, comfy, cozy, drink, working, driving, grab a friend. Anyways, it's a Monday. It's a Tuesday. It's Tuesday. My God. I'd be fired if I showed up to work ever. Anyways, I'm the Incredible Sulk. This is a Sulk stream. And this is called Psychoanalyzing the Hangover. Goodbye, music. Goodbye, music. Alright, let's watch this. Enjoy.
We'll never remember. Whatever happens here tonight may as well never have happened at all.
The Hangover, a simple comedy about a Vegas bachelor party gone awry, or a dark Freudian parable exposing the anguish of the modern man.
I'm still
Carrie, how you doing, Carrie?
Of my psyche back together.
She says, "Well,
There's
hi
an
there,
interesting
John."
subtext to Todd Phillips' movie, which turns
I bet Jesse Boo and the boys are delighted to have you home. Yes, and I'm very happy to be home with them. They are fighting off some sort of cold, sickness, illness, something like that. I don't know, but I'm back and I'm here to help as best as I can, while also recovering.
This year.
I want to talk about memory.
Background noise.
Better yet, I want to talk about selective memory.
The character's blackout.
Background noise says, "No one told me you were going to be here today." I'm sorry, is this a fucking office? Is this the office? No one going to tell, oh, no one told me you're going to be in today. Yeah, it's the internet, man. I'm going to show up sometimes completely unannounced. Like, literally all the time. And how would I even announce that to you? Through the internet? So I'd have to show up on the internet first and be like, "Hey, background noise, I just wanted you to know I'm going to be here in like 20 minutes. I know, yeah, I'm here now, but I'm going to leave and then I'm going to come back." That's not how the internet works. I mean, it could, but this is not an office. I will come and go as I please.
Out is a metaphor for repression.
Torch it. Who are you?
I don't know, Phil. Apparently, I'm a guy who marries complete strangers.
As Phil, Stu, and Alan retrace their steps to piece together what happened the night before, they confront buried selves that...
You guys, I am running on 0 sleep.
shock them.
Why, when I come after you guys, he starts screaming like crazy and throw me in trunk? Huh?
Carrie says, when are you going to show up at Royce and Marie's with a puppy and or kitty? And I believe it is time they open their hearts and homes to a new furry friendo. No, if anybody showed up to my house with a fucking puppy and said, like, here, take care of this puppy, I'd be like, well, fuck you, dude. I mean, I'd take the puppy. I would. I really would. But then I would not be friends with that person anymore or ever again or anybody that acted like that. Why would you drop off a responsibility to a friend and be like, have at it? Thank you so much, asshole. I didn't need a barking, shitting machine that I was eventually going to fall in love with just dropped on my door. I thought that was going to be really more of a me issue in my family. But no, go ahead and just fucking do it, okay? Where'd you even get this dog? Did you steal the dog? Or is it like a trash can pit bull that's going to bite my kids and stuff like that? I don't know. I didn't vet this dog. It showed up at my house. And my shady ass friend was all like, here, don't ask any questions. And then he left. What an asshole. What a complete asshole.
I did that.
And in the sequels, these guys can't help repeating this pattern. Something dark and wild periodically resurfaces within them, however badly they want to escape it.
It happened again.
Seriously, what is wrong with you three?
So there's a fascinating culture.
Background noise says, that would be great so I would know how long to nap. I don't. Just have like a buzzer or a ticker or something like that and just like, I don't know what you're doing outside of this show anyway. you shouldn't be doing much besides spreading the glory of the Sulk stream. I don't know. You shouldn't really hold down a job or have like a healthy relationship or anything. I want this show to be your bread and butter, your main thing in life. Okay, this is your hobby. Okay, this is your meaning. So you shouldn't even need. It should just be innate. I'm just saying background. I'm just saying, right? Have a little dedication, just like a little bit. The rest of us are here on time.
Cultural commentary hidden in these comedies.
I'm not
These
even
men
here on
represent
time.
a discontentment haunting the contemporary American male, which may in fact be impossible to cure. So here's our take
Yeah,
on
a
what
lot
The
of people are
Hangover
pissed
reveals about repression
because it
and
sucks, and it sucks shit, and it's like a big sucky shit suck fest. And so you go to Vegas, and you gamble, and then you're like, wow, that did not make it better.
today's society and why the Wolfpack's inner demons will never go away.
This demon takes me to some pretty weird places.
Cool.
Before we go on, we want to tell you
When was this movie put out? When was The Hangover made? It's
a
been
little
a
bit about
while.
this video's
Hold on, let me look it
sponsor.
up.
Mubi is a curated film streaming service with a twist. You get 30 films per month.
I'm not gonna listen to your fucking ad while I look stuff up. Okay, let me just look up, and it came out in 2009. Oh, that's a long time ago.
A new film every day.
That's a long time ago. It doesn't seem like a long time ago, but it's like 15 years ago, which is like, wow. I was an adult when I saw this movie. I was an adult, and yeah.
You should enjoy yourself because come Sunday, you're going to start dying. Just a little bit. Every day.
Unable to face the scope of their unhappiness, these guys unknowingly resort to the defense mechanism of
Background noise says Vegas didn't change you. Sad. Yeah. No, it didn't. If anything, it just exacerbated the symptoms of like just. Ugh. I don't know how to describe my condition to you. I don't know. A doctor might have a fancy 20 like letter word or something. I'm just like, ugh. What's the medical diagnosis?
depression, banishing distressing thoughts and impulses to the unconscious mind, where we stop being aware of them at all. It's only when they get together for Doug's bachelor party in Vegas. The U.S.'s
Despite what we've heard, it says weeknights at 7:45. Check and refresh your Rumble feed repeatedly. Usually, I will put up by 7:45, but that doesn't mean I won't do later, right? I've done like 7:55 or something like that. I've come down the wire a few times. Not that anything matters if I'm late. It just nothing matters. It doesn't matter if I'm late. What's it matter? Is it? Oh my God, he's late. It's the Tokyo Stock Exchange is gonna feel this. No, nothing like that. No one's dying. You know, there's no buildings being burnt down or anything like that. I'm just late again, or it didn't show up, and then I'm not sure if people notice. I'm not sure.
symbolic epicenter of pleasure seeking, that they allow the release of their long bottled up ids.
Ardenshire comes in and he's like, was Vegas cool? How was the homoerotic convention? It was kind of gay. It was a little gay. Yeah, I like how there's a convention for the homoerotics. That's not even an industry, right? That's more of like a subculture, a pastime. I don't know. Not even an industry though, right? I'm in here for the gay conference, the gay convention. Oh, big gay. You're with big gay. Yeah, I'm a power top. Doesn't matter. But I did go to WrestleMania, so it was weird. But I wouldn't say that's homoerotic. I could see how it could be argued as such. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong about how I could see how how WrestleMania could be argued as homoerotic. Yes, there are females in there, but they are unusually muscular. For females, they're unusually muscular. They're great of stature, and they can like power bomb bitches, which is honestly, okay, wrestling is fake, right? Of course. But it is pretty impressive being able to power bomb a bitch. That's not like a throwaway skill, right? They can just do it safely. But if they wanted to, they could power bomb someone to death. Right, Jess? Yeah. She could be power bombed to death. You want to power bomb me, baby? Oh my fucking God. We're talking about gay stuff, all right? And you had to come and straighten it up, didn't you? Didn't you? I was talking about chicks getting power bombed, and then she has to make it sexual. Like, get your mind out of the gutter. No. Get your mind out of the gutter. No. For once, make a pie.
Who does shit like that, man?
As someone who has a lot of issues, obviously. I'm a sick man.
In Freudian psychoanalysis, the id is the instinctual pleasure-seeking self, our most basic drives, often expressed through sex and violence. Crucially, the id is unconscious. As Freud wrote, it is the dark, inaccessible part of our personality.
Well, Freud was gay. Freud was 100% gay. You can't go around calling everything a penis, right? Oh, that's a penis. That's a penis. Oh, this thing, that's this cigar, penis. Yeah. He said a tie. A tie, a cravat, was representative of a penis. The dude was clearly a homosexual. Okay, so maybe we can stop going back to Freud about every psychological analyzation that we need, right? Because we get it, dude, you're gay. You don't even need the Rorschach test or anything just to know, oh, that's two dudes having sex. That's two dudes having sex. That's my dad having sex with a dude. That's two dudes having sex. That's my dad having sex. Just probably a lot of that. Also, he was a virulent cokehead.
So this is why the Wolfpack's deep instincts only come out when they're drugged, and their usual self-controlling mechanisms are disabled. All of the movies feature wild animals that show up as a result.
A Starving Artist says, I saw a picture, allegedly, of you in Vegas. I don't think it is because the guy wasn't in a white t-shirt. Please explain. I look like a lot of people. No, I'm sorry. I was in my civilian wear, all right? This is not what I wear all the time. Do you want me to wear like a black t-shirt? You all in black in the Nevada sun? Is that what you want me to do? Because this is a little bit more form. I'm just buff, but like, I'm not gonna go stand in the sun in a black t-shirt and pants. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. I mean, I have, but it's just not the most economical solution. And come on. Yes, that was me. All right, we're not gonna play the Frozen Is That You game because that was challenging in Vegas, dude. I went up to like 30 different guys smoking at slot machines. I'm like, Frozen? No, didn't even speak English 90% of the time. God, that was hard.
Of their debauchery, which represent the primal animal selves they've unleashed. It's fitting that there are three guys at the center of these movies, because broadly speaking, they align with Freud's concepts of the...
Starving Artist says, it's not a dick, John, don't take it so hard. And then we go right back to the gay thing. You guys, I have no control over you.
Superego, the ego, and the id. Stu corresponds to the superego, the psyche's internalized moral standards and ideals, which come from our parents and our society. If the id is I want, the superego is I should.
I was happy and...
His background says he wanted to look cool in front of the other internet show hosts. No, that was not, that was not. I was definitely the coolest one there. I'm just saying, right? No offense to like Royce or Mersh or anything like that, but come on. Come on. I'm just saying, and come on.
My life was good. Married like a dentist should.
Stu's obsession
That's a
with
good
the
song,
person
actually.
he should be is encapsulated in the
I
way
loved the character of his wife that just had zero respect for him, because relationships like that exist. right? You've seen relationships like that where the girl is like using him as a placeholder, and he's got a job and stuff like that, but she's like probably going out with her girlfriends on the side, and then jumps into some Latin dude's car and goes frolics on the beach and plays in the waves and stuff like that. There's rainbows in the background. Somehow a unicorn shows up. It's my fantasy too now. Back to the gay thing. Yeah, we've all seen relationships like that. And if you're in that relationship, you don't know it. You have no idea. You have no fucking clue. Even if your friends tell you, your friends are like, dude, are you right? It's okay, because you should follow you. And like, dude, she's definitely cheating on you, and she's using you clearly. So you should, you won't hear it. You won't hear it. It'll just go in one ear and out the other. Absolutely. But I love the character. The portrayal is great.
He believes it's not good enough to be a dentist and aspires to be a higher status doctor.
I'm actually a doctor. Yeah, you said that several times last night, but really, you're just a dentist.
He is determined to marry.
Oh, Carrie C says, bum me out hard because as the little recipe book I'd made for years was cute and had things the boys could color and add to. What are you talking about? That does sound like a cute recipe book. And if you're trying to send us like one of your home recipe books, we will take that shit. I mean, like, or a copy of it, not the original, right? The original is an heirloom. But if you want to make a copy of like all your best recipes and then send them down, you know exactly where to do it. Don't make me fucking pull the card. It's in the description, you guys. It's in this. I actually don't even know if this is still relevant. I don't know, because people don't send me things. I wish you guys sent me things. But hold on. Don't make them gay things. Don't send me very tiny nipple tassels or like a dildo that's too big for my P.O. box or something like that, because that's not funny, okay? For me, that's not funny. I'm sure you're dying and like laughing at it, just like imagining my face, but I'll show you my face. That's it.
Melissa, even though he doesn't like her, because he thinks she's a suitable partner,
hey,
and the length of their courtship necessitates a proposal.
We've been dating for 3 years. It's time. This is how it works.
This relationship...
I've seen those too, where it's like, oh, we've been dating for this amount of time, and so like, we're okay. Okay. Right? We're going to get married. Because this is how... Well, why didn't you get married before? Huh? Why did it take you 3 years? Just to extra know the person. I hate that. I don't like that. I don't like this whole we're gonna live together for several years and then we'll see if we like each other. And then, if we don't, we can just bail and split off and then nothing big lost. But like, you don't know that you want to marry this person even after like a year. Right? It takes you that long to be like, yeah, okay. That's called settling. That's what that is. If it takes you 3 fucking years. If it takes you 3 fucking years to be like, okay, fine, I guess I'll marry you because no one better has come along. You're an asshole. You're a complete asshole. Me and Jess got married. We got engaged after 4 months and we were married after 8 months. And here we are, 7 years later. Something like that. 7 years later. 2 kids. Come on, dude. Don't be like, oh, well, it's going to take 3 years before I really know if I like you. Shut up.
It forces him to lie all the time.
Told her we're 2 hours outside of wine country, and she bought it.
But he doesn't see this as a problem because he's so used to lying to himself.
She's strong-willed, and I respect that.
Wow. He's in denial.
Stu's long-term denial.
Carrie says, hours of my work. And did you get your shit stolen or something? Hours of my work and stuff, all really nifty and personalized for people like yous and Ray and Aunt Kathy, Nikki Fruit Loops, mother. All handmade or stuff like shells and dried flowers. Gonzo. Bet the shit. Damn, dude, that sucks. Ape at the USPS that took it all. So the the Postal Service worker took all your stuff. I'm not saying that incredulously. I 100% believe it, but it's just like, damn, that sucks. Because you can't. I mean, get cameras. I'm sure you do have cameras. That's probably how you know. But yeah, that's a bummer. Because yeah, we would love that.
And his overdeveloped superego lead him to display almost a split personality. He's a nerdy, thoroughly vanilla guy in his conscious life.
Stew is joke. Joke is soft white rice in lukewarm water.
But under the influence of...
Right. It's an alter ego. He gets absolutely blackout hammered, and like Popeye's spinach, he actually grows some balls. And then he becomes, I forget what he does. I haven't seen this movie in years. I forget. Yeah, I haven't seen this movie, but he grows some balls and he like marries a prostitute, and then he like rides a tiger or something like that. What you would normally want to do as a testosterone man. Naturally. Yeah. So that's interesting. I don't know people like that. I don't know people, and probably because they do it a few times and then the guilt just overrides any desire to be a real man at all. And then they go to AA and be like, I had one drink 13 years ago and it made me a monster. Okay, Ned Flanders. Thanks for coming here with your non-problem, your non-issue, and talking to a bunch of real alcoholics who like sold their kidneys for a pint of booze or out sucking dick for vodka or whatever. Go drink, right? If you're having, just go fucking get hammered. If you're having a problem like that. If you have guilt over doing things when you're drunk, drink it away. And then release the beast. Like when a full moon comes out, you just become a werewolf. And then just embrace that. Because how do you know that's not the real you? It kind of is.
Drugs and alcohol, a whole other person surfaces.
This guy is the craziest, wildest bastard I ever met in my life.
Oh, this guy?
His blackout lets him bond with a woman who actually makes him happy.
I'll tell you one thing, you look seriously happy here, man.
But in the light of day, he declares her socially unacceptable.
I married a whore!
How dare you? She's a nice lady.
When Stu starts to learn about his other self, he tries to suppress it back down into oblivion.
It's all evidence of a night that never happened. That is why we're torching all of it.
At the end of the first movie, he takes
So he wants to be lame. He wants to be the mild-mannered reporter. What was Superman? He was a reporter during his off time, during his non-supering. Yeah, okay. Carrie C says, the cutest recipe I had illustrated was for hot dog soup. Sounds adorable. Basically German potato soup. I love potato soup with wafer thin or honking thick hot dogs. Wafer thin or honking thick hot dogs. What would I choose? I would have to go with the honking thick hot dogs. You guys got any gay jokes for that? Bunch of assholes. I bet you do. I'm just gonna wait for them. That, my bro, and I love so much. We beg to learn how to make it ourselves. That was the rest of her comment. That was not me. Talking about me and my bro loving honking thick hot dogs. All right, so let's not get into any sort of weird homoerotic joke territory with that. All right, can we be fucking adults?
Big step forward when he releases the anger he didn't know was there.
I think in a healthy
Carrie, I think you fucking... Did you just, like, sabotage me? Did you lay a landmine for me to just step all over? And then you're like, did you plan this from the beginning where it's going to, like, the gay jokes out of this is going to be quality? Thank you, Carrie. Honestly, if it was, bravo.
Sometimes a guy should be able to do what he wants to do.
And admits to himself that he's not okay with Melissa's infidelity.
Because whatever this is ain't working for me.
Since when?
Since you that waiter on your cruise last June.
Whoop, whoop. Yet in the Hangover Part 2, we see that he's reverted to his...
Why would you stay with her? Why? If she cheated on you once, she's going to do it again, dude. Come on. It's not like she has any real respect for you. Come on. What are you doing? That's retarded. I mean, that's you a cook. That's what you is. You a cook. But there's cocks out there. Whatever. If you... Whatever.
Old repressive techniques.
He was missing the spark you look for in a man.
When the Wolfpack...
Artichara says, heh, Sulk is into honking thick hot dogs. You said hog dogs. I assume you meant hot dogs. And that was lazy, Ardenshire. If I get what you're going for. No, I get it. Okay.
There's another blackout. Yet again, Stu is the
Hey,
one
Dan Snot. How you doing? I met Dan Snot over there in Vegas. And I think he tried to fight me. That night was a blur. And I staggered off into the darkness. And I was like... Forrest Mommy was there, and then we were all there, and fucking Mersh and Royce and everyone was hammered, and I had to call it because I got too drunk, and then I had to leave, and everyone was still there, but I was like, I'm leaving because I'm drunk. I know my limit, right? And I was there. And I staggered off into the casino the wrong way like 3 different times. I passed, like they were sitting at a booth, and I passed them. And I just looked at them, and I was like, I'm lost. And I just kept going. I was just staggering by them. I'm lost. I had fucking Krispy Kreme donuts in my hand that I didn't have before. Because... when I got lost, I found a donut shop, and I bought some donuts, as you do. As you do.
Was the wildest. And this is no coincidence. Because Stu is the most repressed of the Wolfpack, his dangerously pent-up id is the most potent and in need of release.
I got a dark side.
Yeah.
There's a demon in me.
In all 3 blackouts, only Stu goes so far as to alter his body in ways that can only be reversed through surgery. It's as if the wild id within him is trying to leave a permanent mark that it was there. In the first movie, his willingness to pull out his own tooth is an example of displacement, or redirecting an aggressive impulse onto a new target. His real motivation is to prove his worth as a doctor.
Well, Alan bet you that you weren't a good enough.
Okay, well, I mean, this is definitely signs of childhood trauma, or being beaten like a dog for decades, and then there's some sort of like you said, there's a demon inside of him that's trying to be released, right, and like leave its mark on the world, but the only real mark it can make to put into this guy's head is like ripping his tooth out or getting a fucking tattoo on the side of his face and shit. I understand this. This is clear. This is making sense to me. I didn't do any of that. God, I don't have any new tattoos or anything like that, but that has happened. No. It turns out I am just the same asshole I am when I'm sober. So sorry to disappoint everyone.
Just to pull out your own tooth.
But this comes out as an act of self-harm, which gets at the way that his obsession with living up to this doctor ideal is hurting him. In part 2, he has sex with a trans prostitute, despite having no...
That one would be one to carry with you. You're going to carry that one with you. That one's taking you to the grave. And that one's going to be like, damn. Yeah, you're keeping that shit to yourself. Whoa. You learn stuff about yourself.
No inkling of this desire in his conscious life.
It's a violation of my moral code.
Don't be sad, Stu. You love it. You were crying, saying how special it was.
And this behavior so shocks him that Stu is finally motivated to accept his repressed self.
I have a weakness for prostitutes. All kinds, apparently.
He realizes that his inner darkness has to be integrated into his life, and he even seems empowered by it.
I wish I was a boring dentist who had a boring life and boring friends, but
Dan Snot says you guys should have gone to the punk rock museum with me. That was a good time. Dude, did you not see me? Like, I wasn't making calls. I wasn't making any sort of decisions, right? The decision I made was like, I need to go home because I know if I get drunker than this, then I tend to kind of end up in places not like any places of ill repute or anything like that. I'll like wake up in an alley or some shit. I'll be like, God damn it, not again. So I just, at a certain point, I like to make sure I make it home. You know, I don't need to impress people with, oh, look how I can rock and roll and I can, you know, rally and I can go all night and shit like that. Excuse me. No, because I will get drunk. And then I'll be like, huh, would you look at that? I'm blitzed. I'm going to go home. I don't care what anybody else thinks. Am I ruining your night by going home? Well, that sucks. You sound boring. And like, I get it. I am the center of attention. Typically, I do bring the party. But you know, I'm helping you grow your own wings to fly. Right? Take notes, Frozen. Take notes.
But I don't.
Frozen was fun. I had a good time with Frozen.
I'm not.
Even so, Stu doesn't tell the woman he's marrying about his experience with the prostitute.
It's true, he has semen in him.
I said demon.
But you also have semen in you, remember? No.
Not relevant, but thank you, Alan.
So he's still lying about his latent urges because he feels the truth.
Dan Snot says, I almost banged a Merch Girl prostitute. What are you doing? What happened to you? I saw you for maybe an hour. And I do remember you trying to swing at me. I'm pretty sure. But then what happened to you? I don't know.
Group would threaten his traditional heterosexual marriage. In the credits
Dan
of the
Snot's
third
crazy.
movie, when he wakes up with breasts, it appears Stu has a buried desire to experiment with his gender as well.
I have boobies now!
But given his pattern, he'll likely repress this and continue to shock himself.
Whatever, it'll come right out, man. Then it'll just be a little saggy. You'll be all right. There's a guy in England that had, wouldn't you believe it, a daft wager where if he lost, he would have to get breast implants for a year. And what do you know it? He lost and had to get a pair of tits where he wore them around for a year. And that's really funny. That's good. That's a good bet. I don't know what the bet was about, but I hope it was something completely pointless that you like altered your life for because you had to walk around with boobies and shit and go to like Christmas dinner with a sweet rack and stuff. Hopefully you wore like some nice push-up bras and not hid those bad boys under like a thick Christmas sweater or anything like that. Come on. Come on. If you're going to go and get the surgery, let us enjoy the show. Okay? Yeah, I understand it's a family member. I get that, but come on. It's not like... Don't be gay.
With more and more extreme behavior during blackouts. The other irony of Stu's story is that the wife he rejected from the original night in Vegas goes on to marry a surgeon.
Another doctor, can you believe it?
Another doctor.
Dan Snot says, I never swung at you, so he must have been blackout drunk.
Who was evidently
He must have
secure
been
enough to see
blackout
past the stigma of her profession.
Yeah.
Well, technically I'm an escort, but stripping's a great way to meet the clients.
And appreciate the kind, accepting
And there's a
person
baby.
he is. Because Stu is so uncomfortable with himself, he missed the opportunity to be with someone who made him feel completely unself-conscious and uninhibited. Alan is most closely aligned with the id. He is pure instinct with no filter or self-consciousness.
Wolfpack. I think I identify with the one-man Wolfpack. I think because I don't I'm not repressing anything. I don't feel as though. I mean, when I get drunk, I don't do a bunch of weird shit like that. But I do have, I can feel the vibe. Is there a vibe? Look, compare the vibe. Are we vibing? I don't know. It's for you to decide.
Oh, you know what? Next week's no good for me. The Jonas Brothers are in
Dan
town.
Snot says you were blackout drunk. Let's not play this game of like you were blackout drunk. No, you were blackout drunk, okay? It's my show, so you were blackout drunk.
The id, which is Latin for
I win the game.
is a chaotic mess of impulses without an organizing.
Yeah, and I was blackout drunk. So what? What did you? Yeah.
You were literally too stupid to insult.
Thank you.
And likewise, Alan has never felt the need to grow up and become a respectable, breadwinning member of society.
I'm a stay-at-home son.
And when we actually hear into Alan's mind in part 2,
That is quality. That's a quality line. I'm a stay-at-home son. That's a quality line. Good. You should, right? Because why does it fucking matter? Everything's getting replaced with AI and shit like that. And it's like the entire economy is a Ponzi scheme anyway. And so you're coming in way late to make old boomers even richer while you can't even make any money for yourself. Yeah, being a stay-at-home son doesn't sound like the dumbest idea in the world. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot of hopelessness out there, right? And if it wasn't so hopeless, I would find that pathetic. Of course I would, but not in 2025. Maybe back then in 2009 or whatever, I'd be like, that's kind of sad, right? You're not, but like, even then it wasn't great. But in 2025, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty common. That's a pretty common thing. It's a very common thing. So you do you. You be you, stay-at-home son. Quality.
he even sees himself and his friends as children. The other guys are wary of Alan's uninhibited eccentricity,
Who brought this guy along?
but deep down, they're drawn to him.
He's actually kind of funny.
And this represents the way the movie is celebrating a juvenile silliness.
He's jacking his little weenus.
Pull yourself together, bro.
Out at the table, Carlos.
Alan's capacity for childlike brotherly fun is what the other guys are missing in their 2 adult lives.
When Doug introduced me to you guys, I thought, wait a second, could it be?
Scott says, I get the vibe. Sulk was the rookie this year. Yeah. I mean, that's true. I didn't go to WrestleMania last year. I am the rook. I am the rookie of this game, of this crew. I'm very much the rookie. That's cool. Keep my rookie card, because I'm blown up. Shut up, Scott.
Sure.
Shut the fuck up, Scott. Scott.
2 more guys
Here, Scott.
It's
Here,
significant
shut the fuck
that in
up.
the first 2 movies, Alan is the one responsible for
Shut the
drugging the
fuck
others.
up, Scott.
I was told it was ecstasy.
Why would you give us ecstasy?
Because I want everybody to have a good time, and I knew you guys wouldn't take it.
What we're seeing is the id.
If somebody dosed me with ecstasy, I'd be like, touche. Touche. All right. I don't know if I'd be mad, but I wouldn't be pleased. But, I wouldn't be pleased. I wouldn't be mad, but I would be like, huh, motherfucker got me. Okay. Okay. And then the night would proceed, and then I'd be gritting my teeth a lot, and then my eyes would roll in the back of my head. And it would be a party. It would be a party. There's no way it wouldn't be a party. So that's why I wouldn't be completely mad. I wouldn't be completely mad. If I was like, I can't get too drunk tonight, guys, because, I got like things to do. I have to be an adult and shit like that. And they're like, riddle me this. Was that Molly in your drink? And I'll be like, you son of a bitch. All right, let's party. I'm in. All right. I can't technically be out because it's in there. I'm in it. Right? It's just in my drink. I haven't even taken a drink of it yet.
Overtaking the restrictive parts of their psychology to let them have fun for once. By the 3rd Hangover film,
Hey,
though,
Strawberry.
even Alan starts to progress beyond being just id.
I must resign from the Wolfpack.
The movies eventually shape Leslie Chow into the symbol of pure id.
So Mexico, huh? What are you doing down here?
You know, doing blow,
Same old, same old. Ooh, I got into cockfighting.
If Alan was a fun, playful representation of impulsiveness, Chow, the selfish, reckless criminal, is framed as the dark mirror of what it means to live a life that's purely about chasing pleasure and avoiding pain. Phil would be the ego of the story. The ego, which is Latin for I, is the organized concept of self, which follows the reality principle, meaning it bases its actions on the reality of the external world.
All right, let's just track this thing. All right, what's the last thing we remember doing last night?
Rather than just doing whatever it feels like, as the id does by following the pleasure principle.
Mother, Oreo smoothie now!
Freud described the ego as, quote,
Mother Oreo smoothie now. Oh, I gotta try that. Dan Stott says, I'm glad I'm not that short compared to you guys. You're pretty short compared to me. But, like, yeah, not Frozen and Royce. They're not that tall. Yeah, they're not. I'm like 5'11", 6 feet tall. And, I'm like half a foot taller than Frozen, probably. At least. Yeah. I think I might have been the tallest one there. Out of the people in the content making Endeavor crew. And I think I was taller than Hammy too, though.
Like a man on horseback who has to hold in check the superior strength of the horse. And this explains Phil.
Onia says, who makes a documentary about the Hangover? This is called The Take. And what are you asking that for, man? This is, the internet's like, there's been weirder shit. There's a skit about how soup is some sort of sun. I don't even know how to explain it.
Phil's special connection with Alan.
I can't be your hero anymore.
Okay.
He clearly likes Alan and enjoys his free spirit.
Alan, you're the man!
But Phil himself is careful not to sever his connection to reality and normality.
Look, if someone comes and finds a dead body and a pile of cocaine, we're gonna spend the rest of our lives in a Thai prison.
The ego finds socially
You don't want to do that.
acceptable ways.
You don't want to spend any time in a Thai prison. Maybe the one guy that likes to bang transies. They might like that, but I don't think. Not for everybody else.
To satisfy the id without causing long-term destruction. And this is why Phil considers the ritual of the bachelor party so sacred.
This is the bachelor party. What?
That's bullshit. You can't just skip out of a bachelor party still.
It's a socially sanctioned opportunity to let loose.
I mean, he's getting married in Thailand. That's great for him, but what about us?
Unlike the others, Phil is no...
Have I? I mean, I've been to bachelor parties, don't get me wrong, but they're not that crazy. I mean, they're not that crazy. Not the ones I've been in.
Notably unscathed by their dark adventures.
You just forget. It goes away.
As the ego, he maintains a balance in his life between the extremes of Alan's wild fun and Stu's buttoned-up control. And he does this by periodically releasing his bottled-up impulses and then forgetting about whatever he did as he returns to his stable adult life.
I mean, what's the worst that's happened? The tattoo?
Definitely. Tattoo was the worst.
While the
He
id
got
and the superego
boobs.
are just...
He got boobs and he banged a tranny. So, whatever. Okay, yeah, the tattoo is the worst. I mean, getting a tattoo in Thailand is rolling the dice. You're going to get hepatitis. That's how you get hepatitis. That's how you get hepatitis, especially if you're hammered. It gets all infected.
generally at odds with each other.
Do you even know what's going on? Yes, I do. Phil's doing all the work, I'm his assistant, and you're standing there looking like an idiot.
It's the ego's job to negotiate the relationship between the two.
So that's enough. That's enough. Guys, we can't fall apart now. We gotta stick together.
Phil gets along best with both Alan and Stu and understands how to control them. The ego moderates the conception of the self. And in Phil, we see a person who's having to update his story of himself to more accurately reflect his phase of life. In the first movie, Phil mourns the loss of his young, carefree self, now that he's a responsible husband, father, and schoolteacher.
I may never go back. I might just stay in Vegas.
Phil is a kind of inverse of Stu.
Despite says, I saw a picture of Royce with Vito, I believe, and he made Royce look small. Who's Vito? Who's Vito? I don't know who Vito is. Royce is like 5'7". Yeah. So... He's not a giant.
who's pretending to be happy. Phil pays a lot of lip service to his unhappiness.
Look, I left my wife and kid at home so I could go with you guys to Vegas. You know how difficult that was?
It's really sweet, Phil.
Yeah. Dude, I was being sarcastic. I hate my life.
He puts up a front of being the cavalier, cool guy.
I repeat, please disperse.
As it's important to him to live up to his self-image of being young, fun, and reckless.
Why don't you just stop worrying for 1 minute? Be proud of yourself.
While in actuality, he seems pretty content with his life. In scenes like this one...
Turfing Monkey says, I got hammered with Galifianakis after one of his Purple Onion tours. Did he play like the piano and stuff? Pretty sure that's what you're talking about. Just me and 2 other friends signed a cocktail napkin I still have. That's cool. I bet he's a very fun dude to hang out with. He seems like he's not too serious about shit. He seems like he would be a fun hang.
Let's go hook up with Doug. We'll deal with the baby later.
Phil, we're not gonna leave a baby in the room. There's a tiger in the bathroom.
Phil's lack of concern for the baby is bizarre, considering he's the only one who's a father. This isn't authentic behavior.
Just leave him in the car. We're only gonna be 5 minutes.
Well, we're not leaving a baby in the car.
He'll be fine. I cracked the window.
As their adventure gets more and more
Leaving
out of
a
hand,
baby in the car in Vegas. In the Vegas heat. It'll be all right. You know, that's a serious crime. That's a very serious crime. Just saying. And the baby will not be all right. It's 120 degrees, and there's no shade to be found unless you're behind some sort of casino or something like that. But still, 120 degrees, that car will get probably 150 degrees in 3 to 5 minutes. They heat up pretty fast. And maybe it's not that. Remember, I make up most of my statistics. So this is another fact I'm completely making up. But it's got to be something like that.
Phil has to admit that he's not willing to blow up the life he secretly likes.
I'm a school teacher. I got a family, okay? I'm all for secrecy, but I'm not gonna torch a cop car.
Oh, yes, you will. Yeah, you will.
The trilogy is full of nods to westerns, like these early still shots of the desert that might remind us of the start of No Country for Old Men. And when the guys wake up with their hangover in part 2, we hear...
Dan Snot says if you crack the window, it's fine. I'm glad you don't have kids, Dan. I'm glad you'll never have kids. And you might be like, oh, I might have kids one day. Nope.
The Western-style song, The Beast in Me.
Beast in me.
I got aggressive towards Dan Snot. I'm the one who swung at him. It's like, fuck you, Dan. I missed wide and I fell over.
Has had to learn to live with pain.
The Western undertones hint at a nostalgia for an era when machismo was more celebrated and allowed free reign.
4 of us wolves running around the desert together in Las Vegas, looking for strippers and cocaine.
In its broad strokes, The Hangover might remind us of Fight Club,
Cool.
David Fincher's film about,
Cool.
spoiler alert, a man who's so repressed that he creates a free-spirited alter ego, Tyler Durden.
I want you to hit me as hard
Tyler Durden with like 4% body fat, dude. I mean, like, that was, I guess, you need more body fat than that, bro. It just put on more muscle. You're going for this like lanky kind of crackhead kind of deal, and you pulled it off well. I'm not gonna lie, you pulled it off well. That's not like, I wouldn't rock 4 or 5% body fat continuously unless there was something wrong.
To let out the aggressive impulses he won't let himself act on,
all the ways you wish you could be. That's me.
Alan is the Hangover's Tyler. He may not look...
Arden Shire says, cook an omelet and nobody bats an eye. Cook a baby and everyone freaks out. I mean, maybe you're not basting it properly. Right? What's it, 20 minutes a pound? At 350. It's hard to get a car up to 350. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it would be tough. 350 is pretty hot. Not impossible. Actually, I don't know. Do we have some tests? Can somebody find a test of how hot it gets into a car? Because I might want to test this scenario.
exactly
Not with my baby, you fucking psychopaths.
like Brad Pitt.
With like cookies or something. Why does everyone think I'm a murderer?
He represents living without inhibition, and he drugs the guys to free them
Jeez.
up. And like Fight Club, the
You
Hangover
one
speaks
time
to a
and you
crisis
can't
of
live it down. It's
masculinity in our
ridiculous.
society.
Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes. Working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need.
In both movies, the male characters lead double lives because their society doesn't let them express their primal instincts for aggression and for intense bonding with other men.
Come on. I was gonna let you go. You're my boy. And you're my man.
Funnily enough, The Hangover is also a kind of
Despite what we've heard, says, I don't know. I believe Vito's an internet wrestling show guy. No idea. I have no idea.
2000s update to the 80s Three Men and a Baby.
Well, it can't be that difficult. All we gotta do is feed it. It'll shut up.
As Alan himself.
Three Men and a Baby was a very strange movie. Why do three men who are successful in New York City, right? One's an actor, one's an architect, the other one does something, I don't know what it was, but they had a very nice apartment. Why? I know how they got the baby, but like, why are they living together? Why do you guys need to live together? You guys all make enough to live in separate apartments. I mean, albeit it'll be a less nice apartment, don't get me wrong. I would rather have a less nice apartment to myself than a very nice penthouse with like a couple other dudes. I don't know. No. No. I don't give a shit, dude. No. I'm sorry. We ain't bros like that. Okay? I'm going to live on my own. And be quiet and silent. And depressed. And lonely.
Acknowledges in a subtle shout out.
It's got Ted Danson and Magnum P.I. and that Jewish actor.
Both feature a goofy setup of three guys finding a mysterious
Which
baby.
one's the Jewish actor? Which one's the Jewish actor?
While their underlying...
Which one's the Jewish actor? Oh, it's Gutenberg. Of course it's Gutenberg. What am I... Of course it's
story is about men
Gutenberg.
grieving the loss of their carefree bachelor life as they age into a phase of adult responsibility.
I assemble cities of the future. I can certainly put together a goddamn diaper.
Another striking resemblance between these films is that they spend an unnecessary amount of time on thriller and crime plots that go nowhere.
Bring money to Big Rock in Mohammed.
This, I forget this guy's name, but this was his breakout role, right? He was a doctor before this. And he is like, I'm going to get into comedy. And then this was his breakout role, and it took him places. So good job, Frozen Asian. Let's congratulate Frozen for making it in the movie business. Looking good, Frozen.
Heavy desert at dawn.
We'll be at the phone booth at the corner of 81st and Columbus at exactly 8 p.m. tonight.
The movie also has some aspects of Superbad, where the teens' plan to party hard is really driven by their sadness about losing each other.
Is Michael Cera Jewish? I know the fat one is in this. Jonah Hill. Hillenberg. Hillenstein? I don't know. There's like a 50% shot I'm right. But is Michael Cera Jewish? I'm not saying anything. I just want to know.
I love you. It's like, why don't we say that?
Ken
every
Jeong, right. No, his name is Mark. Frozen's name is Mark, I'm pretty sure.
Hey, why can't we say it more often?
The
I'm
guy's
pretty
search
sure.
for Doug symbolizes their repressed fear of losing him as he prepares to
Yeah.
get married and start a new chapter. Moreover,
I didn't
these-
look at anything. I don't have like a picture of Frozen on my desk or anything like that. Because maybe I should. Maybe I should just, I got a picture with him, me, and then I'll just like fold the picture with like, Mersh and Royce. I'll just fold that back so it's just me and Frozen. And then I'll frame it. I'll do that. I don't even have it printed out. I'll go and get it printed out so I can fold back everybody else and just have me and Frozen.
These issues aren't uniquely male.
They thought-
Bridesmaids follows a woman in a similar transitional period acting out
This should be open because it's civil rights. This is the 90s.
Right. It's not. You're in the wrong decade.
and denying that anything is wrong.
Well, I'm fine.
You're not fine.
You're not fine yet.
Because it's hard for her to lose her best friend to marriage.
Oh my god!
Critical Thought says, I heard that Asian guy from The Hangover is a total nightmare to work with on set. I wonder why. I've never heard Asians being difficult to work with. Usually you just tell them what to do and they go and do it. Railroads or Kung Pao chicken or numbers or something like that. They're usually pretty proficient. So one being difficult to work with, it doesn't track for me. I don't know. I'll talk to Frozen about it. And I don't know. I don't know what he said. I can't speak his language. He's not speaking English to me. It's perfect English. I just assume it's Chinese.
So there's a universality to the grief that human beings feel as they move beyond the time of life.
Arden Shire says Michael Cera was the first trans. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's correct. But I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and give it to you. That's how we're playing the game.
When friendships are center stage and say goodbye to their young, responsibility-free selves.
Now that I'm getting married, I'm going to be spending a lot more time with Cassandra.
Of course. Yeah. It's the way it should be.
The point is, you need to let me go.
At first glance, The Hangover may appear to be a celebration of partying.
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
But as the
Critical Thought says Frozen's first name is Frozen. His last name is Asian. No, that's actually incorrect. His full name is Frozen Asian Jr. Yeah, his father was the first Frozen Asian, and his middle name comes from his mom's side of the family, who coincidentally enough also had a Frozen. So it was very strange. It just worked out. FAJ. Frozen, FFAJ. I mean, it kind of works out. You kind of get where the alliteration of, not the alliteration, but shut up. You guys shut up, all right? You guys are messing with me now. And you know I'm not the sharpest because I haven't slept in fucking so long. Dude. I got a flight. Okay, so yesterday I get up and I get up at like 3 or 4 a.m. because I was going to go to the airport at like 7 to catch a flight at like 10 or so. So it was 10, yeah. So I went to the airport at 7 a.m. Getting up at 3 or 4 because remember, the day before I got hammered and I went to bed at like 5 p.m. I went to bed at like 5 p.m. And so I woke up very early, too early to go get breakfast or coffee, which made me mad. I'm not going to lie. That made me mad. And I went to the airport and then they're all like, oh, your flight's delayed. And I was like, well, I have a connection in Dallas. And they're like, yeah, you're not making that. We're going to put you on a flight 17 hours later. I'm like, oh, thanks. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, fucking Spirit, for putting me on a flight 17 hours from the time I arrived at the airport. 17 hours. At least it was a straight shot. At least it was a straight shot, right? Because I wasn't going to go through like Chicago and get like another, oh, you missed your connection again because whatever reason. And then I'm stuck in Chicago. I go fucking crash at Pessy's house, I guess. No, I wouldn't. I would stay because I don't think Pessy would trust me. Fair enough. Fair enough. But I went back to the airport. I went back to the hotel. And I just kind of waited until I met up with Royce and Marie and like their friends, and Hammy was there, and then we went to Area 15, which was a really cool kind of thing, and we went axe throwing, and we drank a bunch, like that whole again, dude, again, and then so I was drunk again. And then I went back to the airport and took a red eye from Las Vegas to Orlando. I don't sleep on planes. I can't sleep on planes. I just can't do it. It's not like I'm freaking out. It's just like, I just can't fall asleep on planes. It's just a real, barring drugs, I didn't have any drugs. You know, if I took a Xanax or something like that, that wouldn't be, I would do it. But also it's a Spirit, right? It's a Spirit airline. So you have to sit like this, straight up, because it doesn't recline. Not even an inch. Like the inch you get in Delta, the inch and a quarter you get in Delta, no sir. That's too la-di-da for Spirit Airlines. That's way too fancy. Because with that extra inch and a quarter, we can fit a whole nother seat. If we add each one of them up, we get a whole nother seat. That's Spirit Airlines for you. So I got on the red eye, which just so happened Royce and Marie and Mersh were also on that flight. Which is like, wow, that's lucky. And then I flew home, didn't sleep at all, got into an Uber, and then drove an hour in the Uber back to my house to where my kids were sick and my wife is sick. And then I took care of my kids and my wife. For the most part, I think I did get like an hour of sleep in. But like in the last 48 hours, I think I may have gotten an hour or two of sleep. And it was just a hard weekend. It was just a really drunk, hard weekend. And don't say gay things. Don't say gay things. It was just a hard weekend.
Movies
Don't
get
say
darker.
gay
They
things.
reveal a perversity in American binge drinking culture.
After the Hard Rock got blacked out, it was like emptiness.
After all, what does it say that the hallmark of a great night out is not being able to remember it?
Why can't we remember a goddamn thing from last night? Because we obviously had a great time.
Phil believes forgetting.
I mean, you really have to drink a lot to completely black out everything about a night. You would have to drink a lot. You have to drink an enormous amount of alcohol to completely black out. Or is it like a type of alcohol? Does a certain type of alcohol make you black out more? I think wine makes people black out. I've seen people get blackout drunk on wine. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the sugar or like the tannins or something in it or something like that. I've seen people get absolutely blackout drunk on wine. But I don't drink wine. I don't drink wine. I drink gin. I'm a gin guy. So I just get sad.
Works.
I promise you, no one's ever gonna find out about this. But we just found out about it. And then we forget. That's what we do. I've done so much up shit, and I just forget about it.
And he reflects a society that implicitly.
Onia says it's fucking insane that planes are so much cheaper than trains. You should be able to get across the country train ticket for like $20, not $300. I mean, I would do that because if America had, we tore up all our rail lines for the auto industry, right? So we got rid of all the trains that we used to have in the country because the auto industry pushed real hard for it. If we didn't have that, we might have like high-speed rail that went across the country. But even with the highest speed rail, it would still take longer than an airplane would. It's just, geography and stuff like that. And bullet trains don't go as fast as airplanes. They don't. I'm pretty sure they don't. Like airplanes go like 500 miles an hour. And bullet trains go like 200 or 300. Something like that. So yeah, but I would rather spend a day or two on a train than 4 or 5 hours sitting upright like this. I'm very broad-shouldered, as you can see and appreciate. And the seats there are not. And then if you get stuck next to fat people, dude, it's just over. It's just over. You're just a sandwich. You might as well be cuddling at that point.
Encourages these kinds of releases in the dark so that its citizens will continue with a status quo that doesn't actually satisfy them.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Hey, obedient.
You're just gonna forget about it. Never happened.
Compensating for a lackluster reality with big nights out to get it out of their system pacifies these dissatisfied men so they're not motivated to change their lives.
Thanks for the bachelor party, I guess.
Yeah. I just wish we could actually remember.
Anya says it's about $300 for a seat. Not bad. A seat on Amtrak. A seat on Amtrak to go across the country. How long does that take? 23 hours? 20, something like that. No, probably longer. It probably takes a couple days to get from Las Vegas to Orlando on an Amtrak. It would take days. It would just take days. So I wouldn't mind if I was getting like a suite where I can hang out and shit like that. But yeah, time is money. So what did I spend for that Spirit flight? Like $600, I think. Not that that's the best deal in the world. You can get it for cheaper. But yeah.
But if, as a collective, we feel the urge to numb ourselves in the name of fun, eventually we have to ask, what's so oppressive about our daily lives that we're running away from?
The Critical Thought says Greyhounds are so sketchy. I should not be alive after that. One time I used Greyhound. That doesn't surprise me. A Greyhound does seem sketchy. You pay $13 and then you go like, I don't know, 2,000 miles or something like that. You might as well be a homeless person. That's what homeless people do. If you can't catch a train, like one of those hobo train hobos, you take the Greyhound. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Why would you do that to yourself, Thought? I don't understand women.
I think it's strange that you've been in a relationship for 3 years and you still have to lie about going to Vegas.
Yeah, I do. But trust me, it's not worth the fight.
Unlike most narratives, which
It's funny because my wife, I was like, I don't want to go to Vegas. She's like, you're going. You're going to have a good time, and then you're going to have a blast, and it's going to be great, all right? It'll be good bonding time with the boys and stuff like that. And like before, I was like, okay. Okay. I did have a great time. I'm not going to lie about that. I did have a great time. But I fucking hate traveling. I just hate traveling, dude. I hate traveling. I hate sitting in the airport. I hate sitting on an airplane. I fucking hate traveling. I don't want to do it anymore. I just straight up don't want to do it anymore. I mean, I am going to do it. Probably again and again for the rest of my life. But that doesn't mean I want to.
Fix their characters' issues by the end, the Hangover franchise doesn't really show these guys making any progress. Each movie.
Turd Funny Monkey says, I also pissed myself while passed out, and that was in the medical report for some reason. LOL. Okay, there's some context I mixed on that one.
He wraps up with lessons seemingly learned, only to undo all that. The guys never.
Here we go. Turd Funny Monkey. I woke up in an ambulance once. They said I asked if I hurt anyone and passed back out. Like a fucking werewolf. Did I hurt anyone? He said, "Bah." Blood-soaked hands. Oh my god. They were probably like, did you? Did you? Because like we need to figure that out. If there's like another victim around or something like that. Did you eat somebody? Are you on bath salts? Oh, they asked. Oh, they said I asked. I'm sorry. I'm like barely functioning right now. I'm like doing my best. This is how Mersh must feel all the time. I get the sunglasses. I get the sunglasses. Like the stage lights are hot and they're bright and like I just get it. I wasn't even driving. Don't know how I got in the vehicle. Holy shit, you must have been really drunk. That's pretty bad. Turd, that's bad. Like, if you're so blackout drunk, you don't even know how you ended up in a car. bravo, good job. Good, but then you crashed it, which is not unexpected. Life is made for mistakes. So no judgment here. None.
Overcome this cycle. What we're seeing here is repetition compulsion, where the unconscious mind makes us repeat destructive or traumatic behavior. This is also at the center of Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo, in which Scotty is haunted by...
Onia says, I knew a homeless guy who used Greyhound, cost him $750 to go from LA to Ohio. Why would he use Greyhound? $750 will get you there on an airplane. Easily. Why would he use Greyhound? Oh, I know why. Because he's an idiot with money, and that's why he's fucking homeless. Did I hit it? Did I hit the mark? $750 for a Greyhound ticket to Ohio? Why are you going to Ohio? There's nothing in Ohio. There's other homeless people, I guess, but they usually want to make it out to the big city in LA to get all those free programs and stuff. What's in Ohio? Top grade at Fent? No, because you can get that in LA. I'm sure. I don't buy Fent. But I'm sure you can get it in LA. That sounds like a stupid homeless man. And I didn't think those existed.
By a debilitating fear until he returns to the scene of the crime and confronts it.
I want to stop being haunted.
That film's near happy ending
I made it.
is a bait and switch, as Scotty ends up reliving his traumatic experience and will now be even more damaged than before. Likewise, in Hangover Part 3, the guys return to the...
Oh, okay. So Thought says people just put whatever they want under the bus. There's no baggage check, bombs, guns, bodies, whatever you want. So it's a smuggling operation. That does make sense. That does make sense. But then I know there's checkpoints and shit. I know people check buses too. But are they mandatory and like will they happen? Maybe, maybe not. So yeah, it's a better risk than going through the airport and having a brick of fentanyl. And that's probably exactly what was happening. He took a brick of fentanyl to Ohio from LA because he probably bought it for cheap from LA, and then, you know, like the Mexican cartel and stuff. And then had to get it to Ohio. I bet he turned a pretty penny too. So maybe he's not a stupid homeless man. Maybe he's actually an educated homeless, which I assume most of them are. You ever go to a Starbucks and meet somebody who didn't have a master's degree? Neither have I.
The scene of their original crime,
Neither have I.
Vegas.
I told myself I would never come back.
They capture the trilogy's dark id figure, Chow, yet this dark id cannot be escaped.
The wedding cake. It was from Leslie.
We had a sick night, bitches!
In The Hangover Part 2, Phil says,
We weren't ourselves last night.
but in fact, these unconscious selves contain a real and important part of them.
Late last night, you climbed the walls of our monastery, shouting out questions about love, marriage, and the meaning of life.
So one moral of this story is in vino veritas. Our best bet is to strive for a waking life that gratifies our truest urges.
In wine there's truth. That's what that means. I don't know why she didn't say that. It's Latin for in wine there is truth. That's true, right? You get people drunk and they're gonna say shit they don't, you know, they're not trying to put on a face anymore. Right? That's why that one dude decided to get tits and rip his tooth out. He's like, I'm really a toothless tranny. I'm just hiding under this mild-mannered dentist who gets cucked out on the reg, but I'm actually a toothless tranny that does some pretty weird stuff on top of being a toothless tranny. So, whoa, that's deep and dark. That's deep and dark, sir. Sometimes the truth isn't the best. You know, sometimes it's okay to hide who you are.
You ended up ditching Melissa, and 2 years later, you met your true soulmate. You take Vegas out of that equation, you would have married a...
The Wolfpack's fourth member, Doug, shows that this is a possibility, at least if your desires are considered normal by society. He appears fulfilled by his loving relationship with Tracy.
You're the best. Hey, we're a team.
And his well-adjusted nature is why he doesn't have that much to do in these movies.
Well, we each had one beer last night, right? I mean, you too.
Yeah, but I left early, remember?
If The Hangover contains any advice, it's that just as our greatest dangers come from within us, the answers to our problems are buried within us too.
Did I seriously make it through the whole?
Somewhere deep within.
To solve
I can't believe I made it through the whole video. I guess I found it interesting, and so
their mysteries,
we'll finish it. But does anybody have anything they want to watch? Because I have other videos, but I don't want to like spoil them now. I have one about a furry gas attack. I also have another one about mountain climbing, but I was gonna save those. Does anybody have a video they want me to soak up the last 30 minutes of this show?
What you guys have to do is remember.
Send me a link. It's a free for all, dude. I didn't prepare. I didn't prepare. I'm like, I'm actually kind of hungry.
He's on the roof, Alan. Head he goes up, the power goes out. Holy shit!
We may not be willing to face what we really know deep down.
I don't remember anything.
Despite says that's bullshit. They're not sleepwalking in a movie, acting out their subconscious. They're under the influence of copious amounts of alcohol and some drugs. So what? What's the difference? Well, your inhibitions are lowered, and you have a lot of really nervous energy and stuff like that. Why doesn't your true self come out? Why doesn't your id surf? Everybody knows you're more honest when you're drunk. That's again, in vino veritas. They've been saying it for millennia. All right. Everybody knows what alcohol does to people. It lowers their inhibitions, and they just the real person comes out, honestly. And I'm glad who I am when I'm drunk, because I will fight Dan Snot, and I will swing at him. I will swing at him, and then I will blame him for it. I'll be like, you started this, Dan Snot. Son of a bitch. No, I'm actually very loving when I'm a positive. I'm a positive guy when I'm drunk. I like to think your Audi is really positive when he's drunk.
Do you? No.
Oh.
I got nothing.
But if we don't, sooner or later, that buried truth is coming back to bite us.
Obedient says, I can shamelessly plug a vid, but nothing documentary. Okay, do it. I don't care. Whatever. You're here all the time. You're one of the OGs. So yeah, you can, and Onias sent one too. So I'll do both of them.
Good or bad, we don't remember, so we got nothing to talk about. If you were thinking... Nothing, guys. Nothing. Deal?
Okay. The 5 places you probably can't afford to live. Not typically down my whatever alley. I don't know. But I'm interested.
About buying a home. How is your local real estate market doing right now?
Probably not good. Probably bad all over the world.
If you live on planet Earth, it probably feels a bit like this.
Okay. Sick.
So, purchasing a home may not seem very doable for a lot of folks right now. With the average home price in the US around $400,000.
Do you have $40,000? Do you have $4,000? You might have $4,000, but that's an impressive amount of money to save up. Do you have $400? $400,000. You take out a loan at, I don't know, what are their charges? You're going to end up paying $1 million for that house. $1.1 million or something like that, if I remember correctly. No. So you can't buy a house unless you have cash, unless you have an abundance of cash. But most people don't have $400. I know that's true. $400 is a chunk of money, right? $4,000 is life-changing for some people, which is sad. That's sad. $4,000 is life-changing. You can't even, maybe if this was the 1950s, $4,000, that's a life-changing amount of money. It's $4,000. Well, yeah, you can buy a house and 2 cars with that. that is a life change. Today, you can't. What can you? I mean, you might get a car, but it's not going to run. It's going to be a piece of shit. It won't run for long. But not a house. $400,000 is a pipe dream for most people. That is an insane amount of money for most people. Not everyone.
The thought of owning a decent home has become almost unrealistic for a lot of us. But if you live in one of the top 5 most expensive places in the world, achieving homeownership is pretty much impossible. So today we are going to take a look at these 5 places and see what we could theoretically afford there. We're going to be smart and analytical here. For each location, we'll note the average price per square foot.
Obedient, I'll pull up your video. We're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do this.
We'll then take a look at 2 properties.
I'm sorry, it's just probably won't have time after doing this.
Of different prices. The cost of the first property will be the average selling price of homes in the area. We'll compare this to a second property, which will cost the average U.S. home price of $400,000. Hopefully using this metric will allow us to find some deals. Does this all make sense to everyone? If not, you'll catch on soon enough.
I don't know what I'm going to do after this. Am I going to continue to... Did I get some sleep? I must have gotten some sleep. I'm all jet lagged and shit. And like my schedule's all off. I just want to get back to normal.
As we start with number 5, New York City.
New York?
New York City, particularly the island of Manhattan, has some of the most expensive real estate anywhere in the U.S. Across the whole island.
It's them-hattan. Man is gendered language, and it's them-hattan.
You can expect to pay about $2,732 per...
I saw a trans in Las Vegas, but it was like the female to male ones. So she was like 5'2", and then with a beard, and I was like, oh my God. You don't even know. You might have had a rough life when you were a 5'2" girl. I'm not saying you didn't. But welcome to the Thunderdome, bitch. Because 5'2" guys, they're going to end up roping. Most of them. I'm not saying all. You might be one of them. And I'm not encouraging you to do it. But like, bitch, you don't even know. You don't even know. You have no clue. Maybe you're like not that far in, but I'll tell you, 10 years down the line, you're going to be like, the fuck, man. I didn't sign up for this. I thought guys had friends. No. You will be in solitary for the rest of your life. Girls have friends. Girls have like social networks and stuff, and they can lean on each other for support and shit. Guys don't have that, especially if you're 5'2". It's just not. You're signing up you're signing your own death warrant. Like, let's be honest. Let's be completely clear. You're injecting testosterone in your body now, and trust me, I get it. That feels good. You feel pretty fucking awesome. And like, do it. But you're a girl. You're a fucking girl. Okay? And so when you try to do that, you're still 110 pounds at best. You know, guys fight each other pretty regularly for like very small things a lot of the times. Just like they might be drunk or whatever, and like you bump into them wrong and you're like, oh, sorry, bro, and then you just get a fucking fist to the face. That's not unheard of. And you posing as a man is suicide. That's suicide, because somebody's not going to stop from hitting you just because you're 5'2", right? If you're a guy, it's fair game, more or less. You know, there's obviously unfair, but you know, people are psychos out there, and you don't have the muscle. Even if you were a 5'2" guy, most 5'2" guys have been 5'2" their entire life, and they're all like, I need to go to the gym or else I'm gonna die. Okay? Yeah. And you don't have that capability. Even injecting all the testosterone, and even if you were to start juicing and doing steroids, you might get stronger. You're still gonna. It's just. You're dumb. You're dumb. You're a dumb person. You are a dumb person. Now, when guys go and become females, they're psychotic. They're not so much dumb. Some of them are. Don't get me wrong. They're psychotic. That's like a demon or some sort of entity that's possessed them, or they're just a screw loose where they like to tuck their wiener between their legs and put on lipstick and dance around and be like, I'd fuck me, yeah. That's psychotic. You're a psychotic serial killer, kind of peel people's face off with a potato peeler kind of guy. All right? That's you. The other one, that's dumb. That's stupid. You're being stupid, and you should have taken advice from a man. Preferably your father, but I doubt he was involved in your life.
Square foot. This price per square footage does waver a bit depending on where you're looking, as a house in one of the northern neighborhoods, say East Harlem, is going to be a bit cheaper than a similarly sized condo on Billionaires Row. For Manhattan in New York City, as well as the...
You made this? You made this? You made this? Oh, it is. Priz. Yeah, Prison Palace. Okay, fine. I'll watch it. Whatever. I don't really care about real estate anyway. Let's watch this shamelessly plugged video from Obedient to Yah and Prison Palace. People go, here, I'll go ahead and like it. Follow Priz. How many followers? 65. Go follow Priz. Go follow Priz. If you're not following Priz, follow Priz. All right, let's see what this is.
Perfect answer for the ADL.
Okay. Oh, God. Stepped on a landmine with this one. All right, let's go.
I'm going to have to listen up. What we did is we brought Netanyahu with us.
It's a net, and it's Yahoo.
Netanyahu, what do you have to say? What do you have to say to Alex Jones right now, Nick Fuentes and Ye? It was bad. It was bad for Trump to meet with.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. That's funny. That's good. That's good. But I have a question. Is Yahoo good? The chocolate drink he has in front of him, is that good? It's always look enticing to me. I've never tried it because I'm like, I just haven't. It's a risk I haven't taken. I should really take more risks in my life. I play it too safe. I play it too safe. That's just me. Old, playing it safe John over here, not experimenting with Yahoo. Yoo-hoo? Whatever it is. Yahoo? Yoo-hoo? Chocolate drink? Is it good? Somebody tell me it's good, so I will go buy one.
Okay. I had no idea your voice is going to sound like that, Netanyahu. So you don't like...
This is Kanye West, isn't it? This is Kanye West under that, right? That's who this is, isn't it? Okay.
The house was on fire, no one could save me but you.
Despite what we've heard, says Yoo-hoo is good. Okay, I'll try Yoo-hoo.
Strange man's desire to follow.
I'll trust you, but if you lead me astray, despite what you've heard, it's over. I know you do a lot of work for me and shit, and I appreciate that. But like, if I sip Yoo-hoo, whatever, and then I just throw a glass bottle at a wall, I don't know. I guess that would be the end of it. Honestly. Get arrested.
I never dreamed that I love somebody like you.
Chocolatey flavored water? See, that doesn't sound good.
I never dreamed that I lose the Adidas steel too.
What is this? Kanye West says he now sympathizes with George Floyd's family after losing his Adidas deal. That dude is insane. He's either he's insane or a complete genius, where he's just trolling all of us like Andy Kaufman, right? Because he might not be dead. I mean, he's probably dead by now, but just that classic type of, I'm gonna mess with the entire world and trick everybody. That would be a pretty genius play on Kanye. I mean, he's making money. He's selling out his swastika t-shirts, and that hasn't happened since like 1940. So he's doing something right, you know.
No, I don't wanna fall in love. Shanda, shanda for the Goyam. No,
This is a fucking ridiculous video, dude.
we choose.
Onia says, like, dissolved Tootsie Rolls in a cup of water. No, that doesn't... I can't... Tootsie Rolls are okay. I drink water. Would that be bad? I'm not
The
sure.
wicked game we play. So blacklist me this way. What a wicked thing to do. Clinton's got Kim K too. What a wicked thing to say.
Jamie Lee Curtis is guilty. Jamie Lee Curtis is guilty of something. I don't know exactly what, but she is. She's guilty of something. There's sex is involved. But I don't know what to accuse her of, but she has to be guilty of something. Probably very serious.
You never felt this way. What a wicked thing to do. Make me love Hitler too. Don't wanna fall in love. Pasternak didn't like.
This is the weirdest shit. Is this you guys, Obedient? Is this like Priz and stuff? Did you like write and produce this thing, or is this like another video that you found off the internet, or like what was your role in the production of this video? Did you shoot and like script it and then get the Hanukkah sweaters and stuff? Because I mean, I appreciate the effort, I really do. It's a very strange video.
Josh Kushner went behind my back with you.
You know, Jesus loves everyone. The Bible says, do not judge. But we can call our Christian brothers and say, are you following the words of Christ? So I love everyone. I love...
Onia says Jamie Lee Curtis came out of nowhere as a big name, even though no one likes her. Well, I don't know. Have you seen her in True Lies? She looks good in True Lies. She had a good body. The thing is, the face. I don't like her face. I don't like your face. Change your face. The body is decent in the 90s. Right? Now you're just all mess. Your acting chops, I care not for them. I don't care for your acting chops. I don't feel the emotion that you're trying to make me feel. So rude. I think that's rude. You know, who else is another bad actor? Megan Fox is a terrible, terrible actor. And it just goes to show you how easy women have it if they're attractive. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have it easy if they're attractive, because they should, right? You bring something to the table that most people don't have, which is a rockin' bod. But You take a fucking acting course. It's mean. It's rude to your audience for you to put no effort whatsoever into your craft. I mean, you're getting paid lots and lots of money, and I'm sure you slept with some disgusting producers. Besides all that, do us a favor and take a fucking acting course. Just one, I mean more than one. You're going to need a lot. You're going to need a lot. But like, just for all of us involved, just take an acting course. You know? It's the polite thing to do. That's it. I don't buy any line you're trying to. It comes off inauthentic. Whenever I hear her try to deliver a line or evoke an emotion or anything like that, I'm like, this is garbage. You're garbage, Megan Fox. But you're attractive and having sex with producers, so I guess you got to play your cards right. And she had one pretty good card. I'm not going to lie. She had a good card. She had a great card. But, you know, that card ages. That's specific. If you have a brains card, that shit is good for life. You have a hot body card, that has a time limit. Okay? But I'm not complaining. I mean, she's doing better than I am financially. I hope. I'm not sure, actually. I don't know.
Jewish, that follow God, Zionist Jews, Nazis, slave masters, slave owners,
record owners, yeah. What's the deal with black guys in the music industry and like, I mean, I guess they deal with a lot of the people of the tribe. So, and they probably get screwed over by them a lot. So that's probably what happens. Michael Jackson and stuff have classic examples. And Kanye probably just had enough after years of dealing with it. Or maybe he's just fucking crazy. I don't know, man. He is crazy. But maybe he's not. I don't know. He's an enigma. Emphasis on the nig.
Strange what daily wire.
He's an enigma. I enjoyed that. Knobs Dog says, "Oh, Severed, you still fucked up, so you're hiding your eyes." It was a long weekend, and like I was not gonna stream, and then I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just stream." Yeah, dude, I was in Vegas all weekend. What do you think happened?
Surprise, God forbid, something should happen that they.
Obedient says, "Priz's idea, lyrics, etc." And do you guys did you perform in it and everything like that? Did you perform in it? Did Priz perform in it? Despite what you've heard, says, "I can't lie. As a teenager, I rubbed one out to that scene in True Lies." You know, you can not say something and not be a liar. You know, no one's going to be like, "You're a liar for not telling us that fact." If you didn't say that, I wouldn't have been like, "You lied to me. You actually did jerk off to Jamie Lee Curtis in True Lies. You son of a bitch." No, you could have just not told us. You could have just not told us, and then we wouldn't know it, and you wouldn't be a liar technically. You'd just be, you know. You would just not tell us that. You could just not tell us that. I'm just saying. Tell us. Go ahead. Tell us. Tell us every movie you jerked off to right now. Give me a list. And that goes for all of you. Every single one of you. I want a full list of every movie you ever yanked it to or like slammed the clam to. All right? Get going. Or else I'm going to call you a liar. I will. I'm going to go and call each one of you a liar. This is a silly video. This is a silly fucking video, Obedient.
Pasternak didn't like my red hat. Would you? Josh Kushner went behind my back. No.
I'm just glad I got to see Daywave on ROTC. Did they do an ROTC today? Did they do one? Probably. They didn't do a Daywave. I would have gotten the thing. They didn't do a Daywave today. But did they play the videos from the... Because we did some man on the street stuff. I did some interviews. And I'm just wondering... I think they might do that on Thursday. I think I'm going to be on ROTC on Thursday when they do that. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Spotify took me off the charts.
Cyberpunk says this video slaps. Well, you know what, Cyberpunk, you should go and you should like it. You should. There's a link here. I'll go ahead and drop the link again here. Go ahead and support your homies, and follow Priz, because that's what you should do. That's what you should do. If you like a video, like the video, like this video. There's a thumb. There's a thumb right here. If you look down, like here, watch, follow my finger. Okay. There's a thumb right there. And if you click it, it'll turn green, and that will indicate that you have liked the video. And I will deeply appreciate that. And there's a lot of people who watch this and never do that. I know that. So, are we getting... Hog Dog says JC Penney catalog. That's not that surprising. Okay, well, thank you, Hog Dog. Critical Thought says, my first was DiCaprio and Claire Danes in Romeo and Juliet. If you weren't a girl, I would say that's gay. But, yeah, you're a girl, so, okay. So she was strumming the old mandolin to Claire Danes and Leo. Thank you. Thank you. See? So, Thought's not a liar. Yet.
Red media has broken my heart.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll go back to
the other places on our list. We are going to try to be realistic and look at housing.
I have to look at... I have to see more of who jerked off to what. And don't... nobody say ROTC, because I will lose my mind. Nobody say... I thought I saw it, but I was like, oh, that's not part of it. But I will lose my mind, and there's a possibility I'll ban you.
What I'm dubbing the relatively middle-class-esque.
Now, if you jerked off to me and stuff, it would really have to depend on what episode. Right? Whether I'm like, that's not cool, or I'm like, that's green light. You know? It really depends.
Areas of each location. As of April 2025, the median selling price for a residential property in Manhattan is about $1.2 million across the whole island. The term residential properties here is including all condos, townhomes, as well as freestanding houses combined into an overall average for the whole area. So what would this $1.2 million get you here? I found us a good deal.
Critical Thought says, I don't even think I smashed the bean. I just remember continually rewinding and rewatching it and not knowing why. Oh my God. That's actually sweet. I mean, smash the bean is funny.
You like this 1,160 square foot condo in Manhattan's East Village, which is a pretty...
Knobstock says, ironically, I never jerked off until after I lost my virginity. That's strange.
Safe area of the city, according to the first search result.
Background noise says, I think I'm going to watch True Lies after the show. Okay. So everybody, background noise is about to jerk off after the Sulk stream. Do with that information what you will.
On Google, we're not going to look any further than that.
I mean, if you guys want to think about it in your heads and stuff like that, far be it for me to tell you how to live your life, how to smash your bean. So you guys go do it, and you live those dreams.
Ground unit condo
You
here.
live those
It's a newer
dreams.
2016 construction with 1 bedroom and 1.5 bathrooms. We have a small kitchen with quartz countertop and the essentials. Looks like we even have a gas stove there. That's always really nice to see in a condo or apartment.
Critical Thought says, at background noise, bring a towel. Yeah, you don't want to make a mess. You don't want to make a mess.
And we also have a laundry room.
You don't want to just shoot it at the curtains or something like that and be like, then you have stiff curtains. Or maybe you don't even have curtains. You just sling a rope at the window, right? You just have a covered window. It's like a stained glass, only it's old jizz.
That's a pretty good luxury right there. Bathrooms here are also looking nice. We've got a tile shower here, but no rainfall shower head. Ooh, we're losing some points there for 1.2 million. You got to have a rainfall shower no matter where you live.
Okay, fine. It's $100 for a rainfall shower head, a tops, right? You get a good one.
It's incredible. Even if you don't got a lot of cash, there are ways. So that is a bit disappointing for 1.2 million, and that's not even taking into account the monthly HOA fee. Yes, we got to keep that in mind.
$1,700 a month. So your HOA fee was more than most boomers' mortgages, more than the vast majority of boomer mortgages. So that's just your HOA fee. That's not even like, so it's pretty clear you have no chance. If you don't own a home now, you're not gonna. And you might be like, well, home prices are gonna crash and shit like that. Maybe. However, there are a few large corporations, super corporations, that would be very happy to snap up every house for sale out there and then just rent them out for eternity. That's a good investment, especially if you're like pulling in this kind of cash. Most people can't buy them with like loans and shit, because why would you buy a $400,000 house for $1.1 million? Yeah. So the entire idea that people are waiting for the market to come down and have some sort of weird 2008 financial crash where like the houses costed nothing. Good luck. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm just saying it might not happen. People think like, oh, it happened before, it'll happen again. That's not necessarily true.
And especially when looking at condos and townhomes, those HOA fees can get you.
Knobstock says that's my mortgage. And how old are you, Knob? How old are you?
So that is what the average New York property may look like according to our precise and scientific calculations and research. Now let us get into...
Carrie C says, I forgot what I was going to say. I'm pretty high. Thank you, Carrie.
The more realistic budget and see what the average American home price of $400,000 could get you in the same...
You didn't need to type that.
Location. Pretty much the same location at
I'm
least.
glad you did, but you didn't need to.
Upper East Side here, and here is where you can find this 975 square foot condo. Not a bad size. And
975 is not huge. 975 is not huge, but it's not the tiniest thing in the world, right? 975. Oof. If it was just you, that's a decent apartment. If it's one person, that's a decent apartment. If you have a family, that's not going to do.
Not bad looking. Just look at this kitchen. It's even bigger than the kitchen in that condo for 1.2 million. Got way more counter space here with similar amenities and more cabinetry. Here are our primary living quarters, and here...
Knobsdog says there will be another housing crash because they won't let supply and demand work. Knobstock says I'm 48 and I have 8 years left to pay off on my house. Well, congratulations on that. I mean, like, good. You're gonna have your house outright as long as you can keep making the payments, which I don't see as that much of an issue. But you might be right. But there is a vested. They're trying to make like a feudalist class, and it's all part of the WEF and all their shit. By the way, Hans, whatever his name is, he retired. He resigned for, I don't know the reason. Maybe their entire plan is kind of collapsing in on them, and that would be wonderful, right? The Pope's dead. Maybe I can't. Those two are not disconnected. I don't think that's a coincidence. But what do I know? And the housing market, it could, man. It could. And if it does, then I'm not going to be bummed about it or anything. I'm not planning on selling my house. I'm not going to be bummed about it or anything. I'll actually be pretty happy because a lot of people who need homes would actually be able to get into homes. But I might be a little surprised. If it actually did like collapse and then houses were going for a quarter of what they were now, which is more fair, but still overpriced, right? Houses don't cost that much to make. They kind of don't. They just don't. There's a lot of houses that are empty. Lots and lots of empty houses. So the supply and demand definitely is being fucked with. Okay. And it's not like they're going to drop to zero. Houses are always worth something. But are they going to drop back to what they're actually worth? No, maybe. I could be wrong. It's very possible.
Here's our primary bedroom. Definitely nothing to cry over here. It's fairly spacious, but I probably would cry if I were given the second bedroom. Any bed bigger than this?
Yeah, well, I mean, I would, calling that a bedroom is, I mean, I guess that counts as a bedroom. I'll give it to them. I'll be like, okay, that's a bedroom. You have a bed in it. That's what you need to have a bedroom. But anyways, guys, we're out of time. We are out of time, and I did my stream. And now I'm going to go, I don't know, play video games. I'm going to eat something. I'm hungry. And I'm probably going to try to get some rest. You know, I got to reacclimate my body to my more normal life. But you guys are we're going to do an ROTC. And I have a bunch of footage. Arden Share is probably helping me with. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It'll be fun. But, I think we're doing Daywave tomorrow, so I'll see you guys then. See you guys on Daywave tomorrow. Right back here on the Sulk stream at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Got to make those numbers. So if you would be so kind as to hit the like button, I would deeply appreciate that. And yeah, support me any way you can. Hit my PayPal, my Ko-Fi. Buy a t-shirt. You know, help us out. Help us keep doing these things. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a great night. Stay strong. Stay beautiful. Keep sharp. Make me proud. And, yeah. Drink a lot of water. Get a good night's sleep. And take care of yourselves because I care about you too. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Good night.
I'm an incredible soul, unhinged and unleashed like a bulldog's fierce growl. I'm spitting fire.